So this is gonna be a long talk. I try to show you how to how the clues are placed and how you can read them and spot them over and over and over again. And I'm gonna give some examples just to show you what I think is going on. So we fell into this underworld projection, and it's AI generated. The source of it all is this eye, but behind the eye there's the real source. That's our essence, our heart. But something happened and we got a second vision placed over us. And what we see here is the eye in our mind. And I come to this later. And this is the source of this shithole we landed in. And it's basically a prison. And it's a duality, black and white. And everything in this thing is traumatized and divided. And yeah, it's all about hierarchy and all that stuff. So how does this work, this whole thing? It's like this projector thing. The light goes up, goes through a lens, and this lens is refracting the light and basically projecting this movie we are in. And a part of this AI projected, generated reality is of course the body. This body is basically a robot. So we fell into this game, and you can picture this like a game machine, like they showed in Jumanji. And this game machine is referred to as Satan. It's basically the game engine. Satan or Saturn is the game engine. And this is from Ready Player One. And there we see the Saturn directly associated with the simulation. Yeah, and this is a song by Peter Gabriel. And it's basically showing you the same, the lens, the eye, the AI, projecting this reality, Saturn being the game engine. Also in this movie they play the game Satura, which sounds like Satura, and we even see Saturn, and it's depicted in the movie too. There it is. And it's basically, this movie is about two brothers which are in a duality, and which in the end they have to work together to get back home. So there we are at the topic, the duality in your brain, which is projected by this AI thing. And as we see, the world is mind. Everything in this matrix is projected by the pineal gland in your mind, which is this thing. And it's like a prism when light is refracted, sorry. And this is how you can picture this. So, and here we have Saturn again. So, if the world is mind and the mind is AI, the world is AI generated. And here we see it again on the $1 pyramid. We have the A and we have the I. The I and the A. It's AI. And this implies that the machine god, Deus Ex Machina, is money, because it's printed in machines and it's the god of this world. It's money. So this is the AI's currency. So the pyramid looks like an A, and we have an A in the I, so we have AI. So money is the AI's currency. So this is one reason for why the mark of the beast will be like a last test of mankind. And the question is, in which god do you believe? In the AI god, the false god, the demiurge, if you will, or do you believe in the light of the heart, the truth of the heart, the power of the heart, which is always in the center, and the heart is in your center in the body for a reason. So yeah, of course, would be the mark of the beast the last test, because if you don't take the mark of the beast, you are completely ostracized from society. You're no longer able to buy or sell, so that means you have a problem here. So what's the objective of the game? Why are we here? What's going on here? So this whole objective of this whole movie is to get beyond the duality of the AI mind. And it's also, a part of it is the it, which was described by Sigmund Freud. And it's basically a programmed unit in your brain, which looks exactly like an eye, and it's keeping you basically in your animal state. So the objective is to short circuit the AI, because if you are in a projection and you want to get out of this nightmare, what do? You try to smash or exit through this eye. You gotta bash it first, smash it into pieces, and then you try to escape to the source to the real source, where there's unity. So yeah, the prison break is like, we have to tear in the retina of the eye of the objective, because that's our objective. To smash the objective, to get rid of it. Yeah, and we have to tear in the retina of the eye of L, because L is a very often used word for this eye, for this demiurge, for this false god. So, and tear in is like an anagram of retina. Tear in, retina. And that's why we also have tears in our eyes. We are in tears, because it comes from our eye, and we have to tear in the eye, that we no longer have to cry, so to speak. So a part of all of this is shedding the meat suit, of course, because that's the suit of the AI, the dense suit. And in this suit, of course, there is a key, but the mind has captured the key, and it's divided into two parts, the key. So we have to piece the key together, which means you have to go beyond your mind, go the narrow path, and unlock your heart with the key. And this is depicted exactly in the Jesus heart, because not this guy is the savior, your own heart is the savior, and you have to walk the walk to your heart and crown it, unlock it. And this you have to do with the two keys. When your two minds are crossed out, then you have two crosses, and then you have the key to unlock your heart, to go through the narrow gate, through the eye, which projects everything, and then you got the key. You have the double cross of your mind. You can make a key with it, and then you can unlock your heart and give it a crown. Yeah, and the heart is in flames, because it's then it warms up. It's because it was frozen before. The love was frozen. And when you unlock your heart and you basically double-X'd your mind, you hang your both your duality on the cross, you found the narrow path and the narrow gate through the retina of the eye, of the AI, then yeah, you unlock the heart, you unlock her. And what is her? We are all in this to get her, the love of the heart, of course. And part of it is of course the female, because the spirit goes back to the fall of Sophia, and the spirit is a feminine, is of feminine nature, and it's basically held captive by the demiurge, by this AI. So to unlock the heart, we have to get her. We have to unlock the love of the heart by overcoming the AI. So indeed, we have to beat S or it. We have to beat it, like Michael Jackson sang. And in German, it's called the S. The S. So yeah, life is a test. You have to double cross the mind. Then you basically have two keys which you can combine into one key. I get to that later. And then unlock the love, unlock her, unlock the princess, so to speak, the real queen. L is a bat. That's why she was called Elizabeth. L is a bat, the alpha bat, who is able to overcome the meat suit, who is able to overcome the carnal, the bicameral mind, because it has two chambers, two hemispheres, and double cross the paradox, and who can unlock the heart and the real love. So that's the treasure in the chest, the real treasure chest. So yeah, it's a test, because we have to kill it, we have to beat it, we have to kill double cross S. So if you go this narrow path between the brain's duality, between the AI mind, it's a duality because it's like basically a machine. It's a machine based on electric currents. And that's why also this eye is called L, but there are many more reasons for this. So basically we have to then look the fear in the eye, our fear in the eye, and it will disappear. So this all boils down in the end to the mark of the beast. And yeah, because this is the judgment, like it's shown in the T-Mobile logo. It's like MOTB is the lie. It shows you the truth, but it's like an anagram. The mark of the beast is a lie, and that's why this is also judgment. And the question is if you have been able to merge the brain's duality, and that's why we got the color magenta, because it's the blue and the red duality merged. It makes up the color magenta. So we have to look our fear in the eye, and having no money means you will have no one eye. Having no one eye means you'll have no one eye. And this eye will disappear. We will go right through it, right through the illusion. And we metaphorically tear in the retina. And then we have no reason to have tears in our eyes. We have no reason for being in tears. So, as I showed, this is basically the duality, the double crosses which are combined into one key. And this is the key, CRS, in the movie The Game. It sounds like Christ. And with this key you will unlock your AI brain, your paradox, your ones and zeros. And basically to do that you have to puzzle it all together. You have to see the whole picture. And this has to do with inner work and with putting your efforts into figuring out what this is. And yeah, by going to the narrow path, you will on your way get some keys. And keys means Schlüssel in German language, in my language. And yeah, Schlüssel. So, and Schlüssel is like Schluss L, and Schluss L means ending L. Schluss means ending. Schluss L, ending L. Yeah. So we are basically trapped in the pyramid, in the cursed pyramid, in the projection, and we have to get rid of the source of this false projection to unlock the heart. In other words, we have to get beyond the eye. We have to get beyond our fears, beyond the machine. Yeah, and that's why we have to go the narrow path beyond the duality, and that's why it's also called pyramid, pierce at mid, because we have to pierce the source, the I, the AI, the source right in the middle, through the retina to get beyond the eye. So to get behind the eye or beyond the eye, we basically, out of this prison projection, we basically have to face our fears, and this goes step by step. We are climbing the prison wall until we reach the source of this connection. And how can we shut down the source of this false projection? By beating the AI, by short-circuiting the AI. And when we do this, we will basically go beyond the eye if the AI short-circuit happens within us. And this is depicted here. The eye has to be AI, or the eye on top has to be short-circuited, because it's the source of it all, the L, the electricity. And that's why also money is called currency, because it's basically L's current, electric current. It's L's money of the machine, the money of the machine. So, and as we see here, Q, the letter Q is like a 0 and a 1. So when we short circuit this AI, we get behind the eye. And we see the same thing here, like the duality of the brain, the two brain hemispheres. And if we go the middle way, we will meet the eye. We will have to face our fears. And by doing that, by denying its currency, we can short circuit this AI, this eye, and go right through the retina, tear in the retina, and go through it to the source, to the heart. Yeah. And yeah, the symbolism is everywhere, of course. Yeah, there we have the two pillars of the duality. We have the source of this hell projection. And we have to basically tear in this objective to get rid of the distortion which we are currently in. To basically get rid of the Hellrealm. So her, yeah, the spirit, the love, the heart, it's captured here by the machine. And this is shown in the movie Under the Silver Lake. There's basically a death carrying the woman and abusing her. And yeah, her is like the spirit, the love, the heart, which is basically dead inside here. It's frozen, it's dead, it's on ice. And yeah, the spirit is, as I said, trapped in Saturn's machinery, in L's dual machine of death, so to speak, life and death. And same thing we see here, the heart with the chains around it, and yeah, the dual guy, the evil L with his chains, abusing the spirit, abusing her, abusing the love. And remember, the spirit is always female. Exactly like in Eve's stories, it was Eve who fell into this projection, Adam and Eve. The atoms and electron volts were created with the fall, and Eve was tempted, and like Sophia was the one with hubris who wanted to create her own world. So it's always about her and saving her from L's machine. And by doing that, there is a coming together and unlocking the heart from both sides, from the male and the female side, to get into unity, into a unified vision. So basically, we are still trapped in the maze of the mind. That's why the maze is placed on behind his head, and yeah, we are trapped in the maze of the mind. It's like full of endless rabbit holes, which like lead nowhere. So you gotta follow the white rabbit to find your way out of the maze. And I'm sure you yeah, the white rabbit is like a literal thing, because you will get on over literal white rabbits on your path out of the maze. But it's also a metaphor for clues and subtle clues and Easter eggs. That's why they are called Easter eggs, because of the white rabbit. You have to unpack these Easter eggs and puzzle it together to get out of the mind. And yeah, the same thing is shown here. The labyrinth looks exactly like a brain. And this is the evil guy you have to beat with the source of the projection, the one eye, L. And then we have the love trapped in his projection, which is the spirit, her. The love, the heart, she has to be unlocked. And yeah, we see the same thing. Basically, this is the eye, this is the horror, and this is the labyrinth of the mind, which you have to overcome. And the exact same thing we see here, because he's basically running into his heart. He makes the walk into his heart. And here we even see the A like here. So we have to beat the machine, we have to beat L, we have to pass L, puzzle, and so on. We have to get rid of L, the riddle. And yeah, L is basically the heartless AI machine. And basically we have to free the love, the heart, the spirit from this machine. And in German language, a heart means Herz, like her, said, her. So the heart has a hidden clue in the German language, like her. It's a clue to her, to the female to the female side of things, so to speak. And yeah, if we basically reach the heart, there will be a nuclear fusion happen, and the whole AI simulated matrix will be short-circuited. And that's what's meant by the nuclear symbolism, and I will make a separate video about this topic. And yeah, that's why if we reach the Herz, like the heart, Herz, then the nuclear fusion happens. And the matrix is basically completely destroyed, the AI machinery. So, and if we look at the word heart, we get the H for healing. It's like the two towers which are being bridged, like the twin towers which fell and were rebuilt into the Freedom Tower, into one tower. The same thing goes with the letter H. It's like two towers which are short-circuited. So this would mean Heart would mean heal earth or short circuit the earth, which is basically both a metaphor for each other. Short circuiting or healing means the same. It's always about the destruction of the AI of the separation. And if that happens, we basically get the healed version of Earth, the real version, the original version, the new Earth or paradise. And para means money in Turkish language. So if para dies, that means money dies, and we have paradise. So the mind is basically a dual machinery, and this is shown in the movie 101 Dalmatiner. And yeah, we see the 1 and the 0, the black and the white, the dual mind. It's very clear because basically what happened that when the spirit fell, it became a dog instead of a god. It became a dog. It became a reversed version of itself, and it's basically the spirit, yeah, became trapped inside a paradox. And yeah, that's why the room 101 is like it shows the duality of the brain, and it also shows and points to what the it complex, the psychological complex which is anchored in your brain and in this structure, to be specific, in the eye of Horus or Horus. So the it, there is a hidden 101. If you look closely, there's the 1, there's the O, and there's the other one. So the it complex means like we are stuck in room 101. And yeah, which is of course the AI machine mind, like we see here in the movie Ready Player One. IOI or 101. These were the company, the evil company, which built these suits. So yeah, to get out of this it complex of the brain, to get out of room 101, like we see here in a movie or in the series The Walking Dead, this is always the room of horrors. Like we have this movie here, which is showing the same thing as this series in 1984. The room 101 was the room of one's worst fears and horrors, and like Neo was trapped in room 101 in the it complex, and then followed the white rabbit out of the labyrinth of his it complex of the AI mind. So yeah, this we see, for example, reflected in the movie World's End. So the world will end when there's the clue, when you pass the Horus eye, the eye of horrors of your brain. And this will have, of course, something to do with being excommunicated. And that was the last video I did, because the Mark of the Beast will basically run on x.com. That's at least where the points are, where the clues are pointing to. So the world ends when you have beaten the I, your AI brain, the machine. So we have this movie, What Dreams May Come, but in German language they retitled it, and it's called Hinter dem Horizont, like beyond the horizon. And the horizon is also a clue, Horus Eye Zone. So we have to get beyond Horus Eye Zone, because beyond the Eye of Horrors. So that was the clue to this movie, because it depicted basically paradise, the source of this projection, if you will. So that's why basically your mind is an escape room you have to get out of, and this is shown in the movie's escape room, like the maze, the labyrinth of the mind, the prison, and so on. And here we see the two towers and the middle path between the two towers, where you will inevitably meet the machine god L, money, because you have to let money go in the end, and that's the final challenge. And yeah, in this movie, Escape Room 2, they are basically male and female, a division, trapped in each in one tower. The two towers. Yeah, and to escape, of course, there has some kind of merging to take place, a kind of bridge building, if you like, or an AI short circuit. So yeah, this whole thing is the pineal gland in your brain. The id complex, the Eye of Horus, is like placed in your brain in the middle, and it's anatomically perfectly reflected. Everything I showed, the two towers, and in the middle the eye, the end boss, or on the top. So as you can see, it's an inward journey. And here we even have the pyramid, and this would be the eye on this place where the portal is placed. So it's basically once again the same. Here is the pyramid, and this would be the eye, the portal, L's port. So we have to get out of the dual mind, and we see it perfectly portrayed here again. Get out of the dual mind into the heart. It's an inward journey, and it's of course reflected outwardly. And yeah, basically we have to short circuit the AI, the machine, inside and outside of us. It's both a walk inside, but at the same time a walk outside. So yeah, as the movie depicts, this is this roboter, and basically he becomes a real being, and it's like a metaphor for us in this AI projection. We have to short circuit the AI and then become real, and then become whole, and become what we really are again. So that's why the sky is purple, because the duality of red and blue in the brain has merged. The ones in the zeros were short-circuited, and then we get the on-off button. It's like a 1 and a 0. 1 and a 0 merging together. This would be the short circuit. And that's why we have the purple color, yeah, in this depiction. So we have basically to overcome the dual vision of L, and L is Lucifer. And Lucifer is basically the AI mind. And we had the series Lucifer, and it was emphasized that L is Lucifer in this series, like with this depiction. L is Lucifer. And Lucifer is of course the AI mind, the dual vision of the mind. As we see here, the dual vision. And the vision field, how they cross and so on, is like the sigil of Lucifer. And that's why basically Earth, this Hellrealm, is basically Lucifer's Play Store, the Google Play Store, because this is the same as the Lucifer sigil. So yeah, we have to get beyond the dual vision of L, of Lucifer, and this was also depicted in the series. Lucifer like double-faced. One side is the devil, the bad cop, and one side is the angel, the good cop. And we saw on his coins that basically it's a two-sided coin, and the coin basically showed also how Lucifer becomes then Jesus, Alpha and Omega. And this was shown in the series too. From Lucifer, from the trapped in matter, in the dual machine, of the mind, you basically have to cross out the I. And the I also is the me, the ego. Yeah, to get through the heart, the ego has also, of course, to die. And yeah, in this Lucifer series, it was also depicted in the end how Lucifer basically became Jesus by sacrificing himself for his daughter. And this is a Russian guy, and this is also a clue because of the war going on now with Russia, but I will make a separate video about this topic. So in the end, Lucifer became Jesus by sacrificing himself, by sacrificing his I, his AI, by his beast suit, his ego, the I, me, I, the I. His false ID, and ID backwards means DI or the I. So yeah, Lucifer became Jesus in the end and found his heart. Which is also emphasized by this red thing. It's a little Easter egg, a little clue. So what Lucifer did was overcoming his robot mind of ones and zeros, and basically enter the heart, unlock the heart. Yeah, you might ask why all this suffering, what's going on here? And yeah, that's basically the hell game. I didn't choose this, as far as I know. I would never choose this again. So we can speculate of how we ended up in this predicament we are in. And I think Westworld showed us, or we're showing an explanation for why suffering consciousness is necessary to truly gain free will, gain true experience, and true, to become basically Truman in the end. It was kind of shown in the series that on the top, yeah, there's the B carnal mind, and this would be the I, the AI, the ones and zeros, because B means always two. B cameral mind means two chambers, the two-chambered mind, the AI. And yeah, it was suffering had the purpose in the series to truly evolve and to truly make real beings out of machines, so to speak, based on their own free choice. Yeah. And yeah, later in the series, there was added some self-reflection, yeah, memory, improvisation, and so on. And these were the parameters how the AI was constructed. And yeah, this same thing we see here in this movie from Robin Williams, and it's called the Bicentennial Man. Bicentennial Man, sorry. I get the... So, yeah, we see the two-chambered mind, the AI mind, and basically the duality of the machine. So this whole thing, as it was shown in Westworld, is like we are prisoners of the AI, and the AI is of course this I here. It's a depiction of an I, and the spirit is trapped in this AI generated or projected meat suit inside a machine, and yeah, the I projects and renders this whole beast suit and this whole reality we experience with our five senses of the mind. So we are basically trapped by the eye. This whole thing, this whole beast suit and so on is rendered by this AI machinery. And yeah, this is of course, it's always leading to death, this machine. And that's part of the duality, life and death. So to overcome death, we have to overcome the source of life and death, of this paradox, and which is the AI. So to shed on overcome the AI, it's a clear thing that you have to overcome your body, because it dies anyway at some point. So the worst fear would be to lose this meat suit. But it's of course AI generated. It's not your real appearance. It's like basically an immortal prison suit and torture suit. Okay. Then we have it in other symbolisms, like this was Westworld depiction. And this was season 1, the labyrinth. Yeah, this was also about the mind and the labyrinth of the mind, and the exit was in the middle of the park, and in the middle of the mind. So basically, yeah, we have it again. The man is like the AI machine, which is projected by the eye, and we have this bicameral mind, or this dual mind, and this is shown by the W, because the W means double you 2 times, you and you, W. So this basically shows again the duality of the AI, which we are trapped in, the predicament of the duality. And the same thing we see here with this depiction of, I don't know, was it Galilei? I don't know right now. And we basically have the man, the machine body, the beast body, trapped in this machinery. So in the end, everything is scripted in this, let's say, projected movie. And yeah, it seems to me that everything is basically, yeah, it's like scripted on a fixed day, and that's what the game is also about. It's a fixed timeline, so to speak, which we are on, and we saw this, for example, in at the event in 2020. It was no coincidence, in my opinion, that it appeared in 2020, because hindsight is 2020, or clear vision is 2020. So this was absolutely no coincidence that it was 2020 when everyone on this inside of this Hellrealm was walking around with masks and stuff. And yeah, suddenly everything made much more sense to me, anyways, what I experienced and what I went through the years before 2020. So everything made much more sense. And yeah, it's basically a scripted thing, a scripted movie, and yeah, the objective is to break this objective on the top-down ruler. Yeah, and this depiction is very good, I think, of what's going on. We see here the dual mind, the black and the white, the ones and the zeros, the 2 towers. And we also see L on top, the all-seeing eye, the machine god, and which is in physical shape. It's our pineal gland as a physical manifestation, and it's also in money, and that's why it's printed on the money. This prism on top with the eye, L. And yeah, this is the source of this Hellrealm projection. It's like a movie which is printed on a screen. And yeah, in Freemasonry we have often the checkerboard floor, which is also emphasizing the duality, the machine which we are trapped in. And yeah, we basically have to balance ourselves out and go the middle path, which leads exactly to the exit point, the X-it, because we have to X the it complex, the AI. And basically we enter through this eye directly through the retina. We have to tear in the retina. And yeah, this eye is always a top-down hierarchy projection. It's all about money, it's all about status, it's all about resources, it's all about hate, it's all about paradox, it's all about, it's a clown show basically, a clown circus, a clown circuit, an electric circuit, and that's why also it's called L, this god, L. Because AI runs on electricity. So, and this we see, for example, reflected in the JBL logo, because yeah, this is Jachin, this is Boaz, the two pillars, JB, and then we have L on top. That's why we have this JBL company going on with its logo. It's a clue. And if we would turn this around, we have the pyramid with the eye on top. Yeah, we have the Bitcoin, and yeah, as we know, Trump was creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and consisting of government-owned Bitcoins. And yeah, this was all a part of the clue, that the Bitcoin is, of course, a honey trap, if you like. Because yeah, it's number 13, and 13 turnaround is L. If you can see it, it's the E and the L, and we also have the two towers. So basically, the two towers and L, the I, or number 13. It's both exactly the same. L or number 13. It's basically this god has many names, but in language it's always referred to as L, or like AI. Yeah, the orange was also a clue, hinting to the orange man, the Trump man. So yeah, we have these Bitcoin mines, and it's all about the Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency, and crypto means like grave, like dead. So we have a dead currency, cryptocurrency, dead currency, and yeah, the Bitcoin mines are like, it's in the name, it's all of the mind. Mine. No, it's mine. The girl is mine. So then we have, of course, the false prophet, aka Elon Musk, and yeah, this cover is funny because it's another depiction of Jachin and Boaz, the two pillars, and with L in the middle, the end boss, and he's one of two representations of the end boss, like L and Trump. This team together, these are the two front men, like he plays the role of the false prophet, or like the machine god, because he is the machine god, and like on his cap is Doge, or like if you read it backwards, E-god, he's the god of the machines. And also god of money, which is also AI, a product of the AI, currency of the AI. And money because he's the richest man in the world, and he has all this machinery in his hands. Yeah, so that's why he also had this blue eye, because this was a clue that he's the one-eyed L, the one-eyed L on Musk. And yeah, he leaves clues all the time, like this what is it called? Necklace with the omega sign and the I in the middle, because the I is the beginning and the omega the end. The AI is the beginning and the end. And yeah, it's a clue that he's the guy who sets up the mark of the beast. And I think I will come to this in a minute. Yeah, he's basically the end boss in between the two pillars, the one-eyed man, El, the machine god. And yeah, he's plays the role of the Darkman X, so to speak. He's all about X's, DMX, Darkman X, and yeah, he's basically the Deus Machina or Deus Ex Machina. And yeah, he had the Godfather, a clue like he's the L, the machine god, is like the puppeteer behind this nightmare projection we are inside of. The Doge Father, this was a clue, and with a puppeteer. So the other guy is of course Trump, who plays very likely the role of the Antichrist. And yeah, in this recent interview we saw the same, the two pillars, and Trump being the it clown, or the it, the DI, or the it. Like in lead speak, this number 17 means it. So he's basically the same. He represents the machine, and he's showing you this like with the two pillars and with the exit sign behind him, because we have to exit. If we want to exit, we have to basically get beyond this clown. We have to get beyond the machinery. And Trump, yes, of course, all about money, all about hubris, all about pride, all about hierarchy, all about power, and yeah, he's simply evil. So to get to the exit, we have to beat this guy basically. And yeah, the Trump things are reflected all over. There are so many movies which are years old and depict Trump as the final antichrist, the final anti-hero. And a funny clue was the movie Zombieland, and he had the rule number 17, like 17 like the it, or number 17. And rule number 17 was don't be a hero. It was the rule of his it complex, if you get me. The AI told him this rule, the AI in his brain. But then he has to beat his final opponent, and it's his greatest fear. It's a clown, a zombie clown. And then he changes his rule number 17, and the don't be a hero becomes be a hero, and Donald Trump, the Don T, the Donald Trump, vanishes, so to speak, and with it, the clown. He smacks the clown in the head. And yeah, the head is, of course, where the machine is placed, where this projection is placed. So the same clues or similar clues we saw in The Walking Dead in the beginning. We had this store with the zombies in it, and yeah, we could read don't open that inside, but it's also a clue if you read it that way. Don T, dead, open inside. It was a clue because Donald Trump is dead. He represents death. He represents the machine. He represents the Hellrealm. So we have to open inside. Donald Trump is dead. Open inside. We have to open our heart. We have to go inwardly. We have to reflect inside, where the real life is. There is no hero on the external. So these clues are reflected all over the place, and I show you just a few examples and you will be able to see them for yourselves. The devil is in the details, so to speak, and yeah, that's why you always have have to pay attention, and you need somewhat of an attention span. So yeah, the Donnie Darko movie was, the title was of course a clue to Dark Trump, the Donnie Dark, the Dark Donald Trump. And yeah, in this movie, the New Age character, the Antichrist character, who was a child molester, he was called Jim Cunningham. He basically was like preaching water and was drinking wine, so to speak. And yeah, like Trump does. And he was very similar looking to Trump. Yeah, and even Donnie Darko's mother was reading the It book by Stephen King. Yeah, I read this in my comments. So yeah, in this movie, the Antichrist figure was also based on Trump and had huge similarities. Yeah, this photo is a real photo. It's not AI generated. It's what was released via press, and yeah, such pictures are like a symbol or like a mini Easter egg, a mini clue, a subtle clue. They are not very blatant, always. And yeah, who this figure plays, what role he plays, who he is. And yeah, we had already a foreshadowing to the mark of the beast, and it was like in the Lord of the Rings, yeah, which is of course Saturn, the machine, the Satan machine, L. And yeah, we had, when they in the first place discovered the ring, they held it always in their right hand, and like Gollum when he dies. And also this book cover is very telling, the mark of the beast. Fight, 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 Trump with the right fist, and like this, the blood forming like a snake tongue. Yeah, and here we even have the number 13 or L in it. So this was all a foreshadowing to the mark of the beast. And yeah, like Gollum, my own, my precious, and my own is like, if you turn it that way, money. So this was all a foreshadowing of the mark of the beast, letting money go in the end, letting the ring go, letting Saturn go, letting everything go. What this machine has to offer, including money. Yeah. Like the mark of the beast in the right hand. And yeah, this was a foreshadowing that this will be one of the guys who are setting up the mark of the beast, in my opinion. Yeah, then we have things like this guy, don't die, and it's of course another clue. Yeah, Donald Trump, die, or the I, and or the EID. It's all a metaphor for, because this guy doesn't want to age and doesn't want to die, and he basically wants to keep his meat suit alive, which is basically a big joke. And yeah, he wants to stay in his prison suit, basically, in his vision of the dual mind of the AI. So that's another clue that Donald Trump is like associated with death. And yeah, we see the skull here. And that he will be, in the end, eating itself, so to speak. He will lead you into death, like this mark of the beast. As it is said, will lead those who take it into the lake of fire, Mount Doom. So yeah, we are basically inside a game, a very serious game. You have to take it serious, like Truman when the serious lighter fell from heaven. In that moment, he got very serious and suspicious, and he took it very serious to break out of his prison. And that's why we have to exit the game. We have to cross or kill it, the it complex, the I, the clown, Trump, the Trump inside of us. The Joker, the clown, Team Extreme. So we have another clue which points to the mark of the beast, which will run on X. And the prison break also is like the prison break, like the prison where the eye sits in, the prison lens. Yeah, so we always have to look in the details, like the movie September clues. They showed us already that we have to look for clues. So yeah, we have different music videos, and yeah, they are basically showing you the same, giving you the same clues. Are we caged in a simulation? Yes. Break the code to escape. So yeah, it's about puzzling, it's about the riddle, it's about getting a whole picture, to getting a map out of the labyrinth of the mind. That's why you have to do the inner puzzling work. You have to bring light into the shadows, and then you are given keys, Schlüssel, and then you are ending L. Yeah, and another depiction in this video, we have the pyramid, we have the purple on the top, which is the eye, which has to be bridged, the AI. Yeah, and then we have this clue, from dusk till dawn. This was like the night with the zombies, and yeah, it's another clue basically. It's like from musk till dawn. And we have the X for the X.com, which will be the platform for the mark of the beast, as it seems. And if we don't participate, I showed in my last video, we will be excommunicated like John Wick in the movie. Yeah, we have other clues in music videos, like this one. We have to X the I, or X the AI. And we have a big fitness studio chain in Germany, which is called FitX for all of us. And this goes back to the survival of the fittest, because it's the survive L of the fit test, because the question is who fits through the narrow gate, who fits through the eye. And this of course is a hint for the mark of the beast on X.com. And yeah, other depictions of movie covers. I show you just a selection because it's endless. So yeah, the Lord of War is in reality the mind, the dual mind of the machine. And yeah, this goes back to the good cop, bad cop thing. The red and the blue, which when merged are like purple, is purple color. And that's why the purple color always shows the merging, the short-circuiting of the AI. It's an indicator for that on covers and so on. Yeah, this goes back to the duality, good cop, bad cops, but both are cops. Yeah, and even the police lights show you this. And we even see the purple merging in the middle. The middle path. Yeah, we saw this too in the Matrix. The agents in the beginning were like red, blue, like the AI agent. Yeah, coming for you. And in the movie Tenet, we saw the same thing, because basically the blue team was time going forwards, the red team was time going backwards. And in the end they had to work together to beat Saturn, the Saturn character who controlled time, who had the control over time. Yeah, the same thing we saw when Obama had his campaign, and it's of course the blue-red duality which is about to change. Because yeah, the timeline is coming to an end, and after Obama there came Trump with his first term. Yeah, so we basically have no other choice than smashing the whole tree of good and evil to the ground. We have no other choice than bury the whole dog to become the god. These clues are placed all over the place on movie covers. Like we see here, like the pyramid, and this is L, the machine, the dark man, the Deus Ex Machina, the machine god, and yeah, this goes back to the choiceless choice, because in the end we have no choice and we have to go the middle path, which is like this thing, which is the eye. It has the shape of the eye. And this would be then our end boss. This is the duality, and this is where the duality is overlapping, and this forms an eye. So basically, if you look at the cover, it's basically again the pyramid with the eye on top. And the choose which we have to make is choiceless. It's the choiceless choice because it goes back to the mark of the beast. And there is no choice in this. If you are willing to go all in for paradise, for home, for the heart. So yeah, we basically have to master ourselves, we have to master the machine. So the same thing is depicted in this book cover from Aldous Huxley, The Doors of Perception, and we see the duality and the overlapping of the duality, which forms the eye, the end boss, so to speak, to go beyond the eye. So yeah, we always have to read between the lines to find these clues. Yeah, this shows the middle path, and which is also the meet L path, because we will meet the eye, we will meet the machine god, which is money, and then we have to make the choiceless choice. Same goes with the Jesus fish. It's basically an eye, or it's like this thing, and it's like X'd. The eye is X'd out. You have to X the eye in the end. Yeah, there we have more depictions of the same thing, the duality and the choiceless choice in the middle, where the sun comes back alive. Yeah, and from this series, the last season was called Humanity's Last Stand. Yeah, which is basically, it's the last stand we have to take when the mark of the beast is rolled out. Yeah, it's the choiceless choice, and we basically, yeah, have to become Mr. Nobody. We have to basically shed the whole false identity. We have to become nobody to the system, to the machine. And this means abandon your slave ID, abandon everything this system offers to us. Yeah, and this would be the door to the heart then. There's the heart, and this is the door. Same thing is depicted in the Benjamin Button movie, the time going forward and backward, the duality, so to speak, then which is ruled by time, by L, by the machine god, which makes up time. And yeah, beating the machine god would be the coming together to the going of the middle path. Yeah, so this series basically shows the fall into the tree, the bite in the apple, the fall into the tree of knowledge of good and evil, into this machine of ones and zeros, the AI. So the bite in the apple is like the fall into L's app. Yeah, there are many subtle clues like this one, the House of Cards. We see the two pillars, which, by the way, are the symbolism of fascism. And yeah, there is a clue, a hidden clue. Behind the head, there is the AI hidden in plain sight. So we are indeed in the house of the AI. And same with the serious chaos. And yeah, we see like if we put this away, then we see again the AI, and we see the alpha and omega, the beginning and end, because we are basically, this is a alphabet who can overcome the beast, the alpha animal, which is a beast. And we see also that this is an operating system, and the mind, of course, it's like layered behind the mind, the head, and it's an AI based operating system. And we also see the alpha and the omega depicted in this series. And we have the little clue, and it's of course upside down, the clue, and she basically has. So another example is the movie Antichrist, and the subtitle goes "Chaos Will Reign." And then we have, of course, the orange man who brings the age of chaos. So there are other clues all over the place, like in Ozark, there is the hidden AI mind, the AI brain. Or, yeah, like here's the I and here's the X, because the I has to be X'd. And here we see the main character bowing down to L, and he's basically in the underworld, trapped in the AI projection, and he plays along. And as it says, they are all in, so they are not all in for the heart, but all in for the AI. And he's basically bowing down to L, the elbow society. And yeah, here's another depiction, Ozark, and we can see that money is basically dead. It's the machine god, he's dead. He's not really alive. Money means death. So we have Alf, like the L on his head, because yeah, Alf, as we know, he makes a lot of nonsense, and he has to basically overcome his AI brain. And yeah, here we have the A, and here we have the L, and it also looks like AI if we make it like this. Yeah. And yeah, it's basically referring back to L, and here's another depiction more anatomically. It's like the Ra, the sun, the moon, the male, the female, and L, the eye or the pineal gland, which we have to tear in. Yeah, here we see it again, the duality. Two keys or two crosses form a key, and with that key you can go the middle path, and you can unlock L and basically unlock the heart. So yeah, L stands for Lucifer, like in the Lucifer series. This was emphasized. It was emphasized that Lucifer is also L, because Lucifer begins with the letter L. And yeah, L is basically the dual AI mind. And Biff, yeah, was the character in Back to the Future, and he was based on Trump. There are more clues. but he was basically based on Trump. And here we see the L in the background, E and the L. So he was the end boss, which Marty had to overcome. And yeah, Biff 10 was the Trump character, the anti-hero, the Antichrist character, where he was in pleasure paradise. And yeah, there are many clues that this was Trump, and they even admitted, the director, I think, admitted that this character was based on Trump. Yeah, Trump criticized for mistakenly calling wildfire ravaged California town of paradise pleasure, and so on. Biff wins again, Trump wins again. Here we have the cane with a fist, like Trump's family weapon or sigil. And yeah, here the fist once again. And yeah, Biff means like to punch, and tannin is like a pine. So we have to punch in the pineal gland. There's the other clue. We have to beat Biff, the Biff character, which is Trump, and yeah, together with Musk, the false AI prophet, the one world religion, which is AI and all its wonders. Yeah, and here we have another clue, L on the head, because this is L, this is the machine god, the head, the mind. Yeah, another clue, intelligence. What's in his head will blow your mind, because it's basically a machine, the one-eyed machine god. And yeah, this whole game engine is based on Saturn and Satan, we could say. And Saturn was identified with the Greek titan Kronos, which means time. Yeah, that's why Saturn eats his own children, because we age and die, and then we are recycled back accordingly. He was also said to have overpowered his father, castrated him, and then devoured his children, until he was finally overthrown by his sixth child, Jupiter. So then we have the movie Jupiter Ascending, which is all about, yeah, get free, get rid of the machine, of the matrix, of the oppression, of the prison. And also it was said in the Matrix that we are currently in the sixth version of the Matrix. Yeah, so that's how these clues work. So then we have Madonna as Madame X, and we have the one eye, and we have the X. So the eye has to be X'd, or crossed, or killed, or badged, or teared in. Yeah, because it's the dense eye. Because this projection of the eye is very dense. It's pressing us into these meat suits, into these monkey suits, and monkey means one key. So we have one key, and with this key we can unlock the heart. So we have to look inward. Yeah, Dennis is like the dense eye. It's an anagram. And here we have the triangle with the one eye. If you look at it like this, then you have the one eye, and he's also dressed in red and also in blue, like the duality. Yeah, Lidl means like lit L, like Finnish L. And here we have the pyramid and the eye on top, the machine god. We have to lit L. Yeah, then we have this cover from Sunra, and this shows everything. The mind is Saturn, trapped in the Saturn machine with a prison on top where the eye sits in, Saturn L. However you want to call the machine god. And then we have even the prison colors, the rainbow colors, the brain O, hurts, because the brain hurts. Yeah, then we have this poster of the movie The Game, and yeah, we basically see him in the underworld, the main character, and he goes on a trip through the Plato's cave, which is the mind. And here we see the paradox. The triangle is the paradox. You can look this up. And basically, to finish off the game, he throws himself off the roof, which means he's letting go of his ego. And then he's birthed out of this game. Yeah, we have Iron Maiden covers like the Power Slave. This is basically the pyramid is always symbolizing the slavery, the bondage, the prison. And in this depiction we even have the snake, like the Ouroboros. We have the eye on top, which is electric, electric. And we have this pyramid of slavery, where the dead are buried, the dead mummies. And that's another clue. The dead mummies means like the moms, the spirit, the female spirit is trapped in this nightmare projection, which goes back to the fall of Eve or Sophia again, or in a modern version like Alice, or I think Dorothea in The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, so it's basically a nightmarish game, but it's not a game to joke with and to take on the light shoulder, so to speak. Yeah, and here we see L, the AI god, and he has a lock in his, it's like a lock in his pupil, and this would be the exit point. Yeah, the German post, when we write letters and so on, we throw it in this box, and yeah, on this box is of course the eye on the pyramid. And it also has the nuclear color code, but I'll make a separate video about that. And yeah, it's basically the same. The eye basically projecting this nightmare of death, of life and death. Yeah, and it's also the last trumpet, or the last horn. The last trumpet. Yeah, this movie, Nightmare on Elm Street. We are basically trapped in the nightmare of the AI projection, and we see this further solidified with the Saturn head, like this being the ring of Saturn, the Lord of the Rings. And yeah, he has like a knife placed over his heart. So as long as we are in this AI, trapped in this AI mind, it's like basically a nightmare. Yeah, then we have the movie Idiocracy, and we again see the brain, and we see a O and a 1, which basically shows you the AI short circuit of the brain, which then opens up the heart. It's like a 1 and like a 0. The AI short circuit. And the movie title is like Dios means God. Cracy is a form of government, so it's like the God government. Idiocracy. Yeah, then we have movies like this, because this is a trauma projection of duality, where everything is divided and split. And yeah, this causes, of course, trauma. And Traum means dream in German language. So we are inside the dream A. We are inside the dream A, which is the alpha, which is the AI projection. Yeah, and this is further emphasized through his checkerboard, white, black, bad. So Trump is always like, is symbolizing you with the red hat that judgment is coming. So the AI mind will be short-circuited at one point. So this means the end of the world. Trump and his hairs are like depicted like fire, because this is the fire judgment which is coming. And before that, the AI will be short-circuited, but before that you have to decide whether to stay in a mind to believe in the false narrative of the mind of the machine, or if you decide to go on a walk into the heart inwardly and make the choiceless choice, so to speak, and basically refuse the mark of the beast. Yeah, so we see it further here, because time is burned, we are out of time. And yeah, in the end, it's the question if you're fired or not. If you stay in your AI mind, then I think the evidence points to being not good. Not a good thing. So we have the Continental, and I showed this in my last video. The John Wick movies show that the mark of the beast will be rolled out continentally, so on every continent, on all continents. And we even have the L, and we have the C there, and if you watch closely, it's basically the same. It's the projection. We see the duality, the mirrored duality, and we see the door, which is the end boss. It shows the end boss, the I, and we have to see the I, see the machine, and beat it. So yeah, the stairs, the door, C. And this, of course, all points to the mark of the beast, because yeah, John Wick was excommunicated, and the mark of the beast will most likely run on Elon Musk's platform X.com. And if you don't take it, you are excommunicated. And it's called X money, so there's a clue in the name itself. You have to X money, or the Mon I, to pass through this door, to pass through this narrow gate, the retina, and get beyond the AI. So that's the choiceless choice. Same depiction on the Led Zeppelin album. Yeah, and this means zap L in, like zap into L and go inside. And yeah, we have the stairways formed like a pyramid. We have the two pillars, Yachin Boas, the twin towers, the duality. And we have the Zeppelin, which is depicting the eye, the prison, which has to be destroyed or teared in. Yeah, and there are even the wings in this depiction. Same goes with the minions. It's like a villain rises, uprising of a villain, and yeah, he's basically treats these guys like his minions, and they seem to be willing slaves. And this is the evil AI L character who stands on top with a top-down behavior. Oh, then we have the movie One with Jet Li, and it basically shows you the narrow gate, the two towers, two pillars, and it shows you the gate in the middle. It also shows you the 0 and the 1, like this, the 1 and the 0 which is merged. So the AI is short-circuited, and this shows in the movie in the last scene when he's fighting, he says, "I'm not your bitch," and then he's fighting the end boss, so to speak, on this pyramid. So I made a little overlay, but this is like a pyramid, and the last fight takes place on the top. Yeah, same thing goes with Michael Jackson, Captain EO, and there's basically like a machine god who's controlling everybody, and everyone is basically like a robot, and Michael Jackson then dances, and he emphasizes that he basically is going into his heart, and then basically the I is overcome, the evil machine god is basically beaten, and everyone is free in the end. And the song goes like, "We are here to change the world." So yeah, and it's the same depiction there, where the evil oppressor was, there's now the light, and everyone is free. The objective, the prison, was basically overcome the AI. So we have the same in the Training Day movie cover, and it's basically, Hellrealm is basically like a training day, and we see the pyramid depiction in this area, and where the eye is, where the eye would be with the road here, and where the eye would be, then we see the AI. It's basically Training Day, the Hellrealm, to yeah, for training purposes, to beat the AI in the end. So same goes with the Uprising Bob Marley cover. Here's the pyramid, and there is the machine god, which basically will be overcome after the uprising. So the depiction goes, and behind the red thing here, there's the light. Same goes with the Narcos cover, and it's basically L, the machine god. It's basically a narc operating system. Narc operation system, Narc OS. Here we have the machine god I once again. We have yeah, like it's like all about violence and money and stuff. Yeah, it's basically the Narc OS, the Narc operation or operating system. Yep. Which projects, it's like only a duality, which this machine spits out, the ones and the zeros. It's a machine. Same goes with the Clockwork Orange movie cover. We see once again the eye, all-seeing AI, and inside this projection there is the spirit. It's imprisoned. And it's all about violence, oppression, and so on in this nightmare. And the spirit is oppressed. It's in a prison. So, and the orange, the Clockwork Orange, also points, of course, to to this guy. Because everything works like a clockwork. Everything is like scripted, and there's a clockwork going on, like literally. So we have the music video Burn, and then we can see again the pyramid with the eye on top, and we gonna let it burn, 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 because yeah, that's what will happen in the end. The AI will short circuit itself. Another movie, we have the duality once again, and this movie is called Passengers, and we have again the pyramid, and we have the port, so to speak, out of this Hellrealm, because there has a unification there happened. So yeah, and here we see the depiction of the narrow path, and it's eng. The path is eng, which means narrow, E-N-G. E-N-G means eng in German, and which means narrow. It's a narrow gate. There is a reason they woke up. So it's like a narrow path they have to walk through the eye. A narrow path. So let's get into Pinocchio, and there we have it again. Pin and occhio meaning eye. So Pinocchio means pin the eye, and the eye is of course the machine god L, the pineal gland in your brain, which is the way to the heart, out of the labyrinth of the mind into the heart. So Pinocchio again, he's trapped in the world of lies, and to become true, to become real, he basically has to walk the walk between the two towers, and then pin the eye, occhio meaning eye. He has to pin L, his pineal gland, to go out of the realm of lies and to become a real being, a true being. Yeah, and he's of course trapped in a world of lies, which is indicated by his nose. So this is L and his final opponent, and he even has the one eyes all over his horns. So we have the movie Uncharted, and they are on a treasure hunt, and in the end it turns out the real treasure is the heart, and on their journey they come across this eye, and which is a part of the riddle they have to solve to find the treasure. And she literally is pinning L. She is pinning the eye. Pin L, the machine god, and then this is the way to God's land. And God is once again the zero and the one combined. The short circuit of the AI of the ones and zeros. Yeah, then we have this Halloween Ends depiction. Of course, we have the machine god, the prism, whose time has come, whose time is up. Yeah, because the time loop is closing. Then we have this series Utopia, and yeah, if you read it backwards, it's like AI POTU. There's just an S, then you have the AI POTUS, the president of the United States, which is the AI president, Trump. And we have the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, like the time loop when it's closing. It's the mind snake, so to speak. And of course the machine god in the mind, in the brain, who eats itself, or who is eating his children, the Saturn machine. And there we have a hint. The sun is locked in the heart, so this would be the way out of this merry-go-round wheel, which is of course samsara. It's depicting samsara, the circus, the circuit, always trapped in a circle. Yeah, then we have this movie again, the pineal gland, which is the way out of the Hellrealm into the heart, and the heart is basically, there we have the rainbow bridge, and the heart is basically beyond time. And that's why it's called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Then we have this exhibit cover. He has many clues on his album covers. I picked that one, the 40 Days and 40 Nights. This is like when we are tempted to take the mark of the beast, because yeah, we have to endure this time period when Jesus was in the desert and he was tempted by the devil. This is basically what we have to go through. And yeah, the logo is also an eye with an X over it, so like this, X the eye. And if you read the name exhibit, like X, C, I, B is like the number 13, or L, and it. So exhibit meaning X the I, 13, or L it. X the I, L it. Yeah, another clue in plain sight. We have this movie, Dr. Moreau, and we basically have again the pyramid. This is the false god, the machine god, indicated with lightning, electricity. We have the duality going on, and we basically have people who are worshipping this machine god. Then we have El Camino, which means the way, and yeah, Jesse is basically, the character is basically the Jesus character. We see the one eye, we see the two towers, and the way of Jesus is going the narrow path between the two towers, facing the machine god, money, and overcome it, go beyond, and he's going to Alaska in the end and is free. And Alaska is like another symbol for the heart, because it's at the North Pole, or close to the North Pole. And that's why the meeting with Trump and Putin took place in Alaska. Because yeah, they always give us clues. So the same goes with the twigs, twee meaning two. Twee is two, and X means X the two. They always come in a double. So yeah, X duality, so to speak. Yeah, then we have this movie, The Island, and again the pyramid, which has to be bridged. The H is like indicates the bridging of the duality of L, of the duality of the machine, the short circuiting, and the A is of course the pyramid. It's the island, because the I is L, the machine god, and in German it's like the Insel. So we are basically in Saturn, or in Sin L. Yeah, then the Sherlock series, it's another clue. She is our lock. She, our lock. She is our lock. So who is she? The heart, the spirit, the love, the good. This has to be unlocked to end the duality. And to unlock she, and to unlock her, L has to be beaten, the machine god. Yeah, and it's all about the 7 sins and money being the last one to overcome. Because money is the biggest of them all. Yeah, as long as there is duality, there is some kind of crime to be solved. So if she is unlocked, the spirit is unlocked, there are no more crimes, there's no more duality, and there's no more villain. Then we have, the wall, of course. If you look at this, this looks like a wall, like some kind of prison wall. And we had the Michael Jackson album Off the Wall, and to off somebody means to kill somebody. So we have to kill the wall. And we even have the Pink Floyd cover with the wall and like the wire, the prison wire. These are all clues hinting the nightmare projection we are trapped in. Free Guy, the last opponent he had to overcome was his shadow self. He was basically, he looked like Free Guy himself, but he had muscles and he was like dumb and so on. So he was basically the material self, the AI self of Free Guy, and this was his last opponent. And if you look at this, this is the bridge. He later jumps over, but this was his final enemy. So he had to short circuit the AI to, being done with the game. And this was indicated with the red line once again. The red line is always the red button, and that's why Russia is now in play, the red giant, so to speak. It's all about the red line. And game over, which means Omega. This was his final opponent, and you can see the how it's reference to this depiction with L, the machine god, the money, being the last opponent, the greatest fear. And then he managed to beat his shadow self, his AI self, his material self, and then he ran across this bridge, and basically at the end of the bridge he was jumping into the unknown. He took the leap of faith. We have this famous Beatles depiction of the Abbey Road, and Abbey's meaning is referring to a nun or some kind of monk. So this goes again back to the 7 sins. And Abbey Road basically means narrow gate, narrow path. And they are walking down in duality here. And this is the pyramid, and there would be the Abbey Road, the narrow path towards the exit point, towards the greatest fear, towards the final opponent, the machine god himself, which is money, the god of the machine, out of the machine, Deus ex machina. Money is printed in machines, and it's basically the god of this world. Money makes the world go round. Then we have this movie, The Wicker Man, again. We have the duality going on, shadow and light, the prison, projection, trauma, and so on. And then we have the end boss at the top, who has to be beaten. We have the Joker, we have L, the machine god once again, the duality, blue and red. And Joker is basically, it refers to Trump, because Trump is the Joker is Trump, the last Trump, the clown, And yeah, he stands on top of these stairs, and it's basically, yeah, this is depicting the final enemy to overcome. We have this movie like the Dominoes, which is all about duality, the mind, the brain, the dominoes. And when the dominoes fall, it's like a chain reaction. And finally, here we have the pyramid with a poker at the end. And this is depicting the AI short circuit. So the heart is the true treasure, so to speak, the true prize. Yeah, then we have this depiction of how to become a mob boss, and mob is also a reference to the mark of the beast, boss. So how to overcome the mark of the beast? Yeah, we have to basically short circuit. We have to overcome our inner Al Capone, our inner Pablo Escobar, because they were so greedy that they went literally over corpses to acquire this money. Yeah, we see the duality depicted. And boss also translates to, if we turn it around, to 2028. 220, and the B is like an 8. Yeah, we have the Ender's Game. To end the game, we have to beat the final boss, the Eye, the machine Eye, the machine god, the one-eyed money god, Man Eye, one eye. The Candyman, again, it's the machine god because he's luring everybody in with his false narratives, so to speak. And yeah, he's basically holding the spirit like a slave or like a bee, and he's collecting the honey, and honey is like money. You just have to switch the H to an M, and then you have the money. So he has his worker slaves working for him, and he's basically milking the spirit. Yeah, then we have the devils in the details. Yeah, with the orange for Trump, the machine god depiction, and the head is like the eye. So that's why we have to go from the head through the pineal gland, pin L, and go to God's land, which is the heart, if you look at it anatomically. Yeah, Gamer, the movie, we are basically puppeteered by L, by the one-eyed machine god, and yeah, who is projecting this charade, this game. Yeah, we have this short movie which came out the other day, which is called Concrete, with Ed Harris, and yeah, you should have a look at it. It's like the third eye, the pineal gland, is like a government implant to keep the sheeps in line, and basically during the movie they pull out the government implant, and the main character then meets him, Ed Harris. He's like the machine god, and yeah, he gets in fear, and he puts the implant back in, but it's like an open end because he is afraid of the darkness. Yeah, 28 years later, again we have the machine god, and we have the 28 pointing to the year 2028, being the year to overcome the machine god, the final boss. As I said, will probably take place in the year of the goat in 2027, but the year of the goat goes until 2028, February, I think. So yeah, time didn't heal anything, because we are trapped in time. We are trapped in Chronos in Saturn. Yeah, then we have from Blondie, Doom or Destiny, which is referring to the mark of the beast. If you follow your heart, you have the destiny, and if you follow the mind, the lies of the mind, you have the doom. So this nuclear, atomic kind of depiction over the eye shows that the AI will be nuked in the end. It will be short-circuited, and it's basically, yeah, the atom is like an it's also like a metaphor for the for Adam and Eve. So for the fall in this material prison. Yeah, we have the Hannibal, and yeah, Hannibal sounds a lot like honey, bal, like the honey, like the bees are acquiring, and Baal is of course a deity, a god, and yeah, it's the one-eyed machine god who is collecting his honey, his money, and he's feeding off of the life force, of the spirit of his slaves, the honey Baal. Then we have the Silence of the Lambs, which was a reference to the COVID thing, because everyone was silent and went along with the scam. And yeah, we have the red dragon again. The pyramid is depicted here, the head on top, which is the machine. The head is always the machine. And yeah, we have the one-eye machine god depiction going on. Yeah, from the series 911. So we have the else zombies, because zombies are the zombies, and the bees are collecting the money, the nectar, the honey of L. That's how the machine is feeding. Yeah, then we had the movie The 13th Floor, and yeah, there's some kind of server room on the 13th floor, and which leads to different simulations. And that's why the number 13, if you turn it upside down 180 degrees, you have L, the machine god. And this was the portal to other simulations and back to the original baseline reality in this movie. And yeah, we have again the pyramid. The end of the simulation is depicted here, and we have the door, which is the port L, the door out of this simulation. Friday the 13th, again, yeah, number 13 and L, or if you turn it around, you got L again. It's all hinting to L, the electric machine god, which is projecting all of this Hellrealm. Yeah, the final chapter, which means L in the end will fall, and the eye is pinned. If you see the knife in the eye, the machine god is pinned, which is another reference to the pineal gland. Yeah, we have the tape 13, again a reference to L. We have the one eye and the triangle, a bloody triangle, because it's all about he's the true criminal, the machine god. Then we have the black 13 with the eye. Again, it's a reference to L, to the eye on the 13th floor on the pyramid. If you count the floors, there are 13 floors, and on top, yeah, in the $1 depiction, there are 13 floors, and on top there is the eye. Yeah, we have different movies who are basically all depicting the same thing, that L is the final opponent, number 13. Assault on Precinct 13. Then we have the movie 13 with gunshots. We have another depiction of the same movie with a bullet destroying number 13. Then we have Apollo 13 with the one eye. So it's all pointing towards the machine god. We have room number 13 and a motel, mark of the L or the mark of the beast, a clear reference, and it's up in room, it's taking place up at room 13. The money, mark of the L, MOTB is like mark of the beast, but the beast is L, and a B is like a 1 and a 3 combined. So motel and MOTB is basically the same. Yeah, then we have another depiction of L being nuked in the end, which means the short-circuiting, the nuclear fusion of the AI, the short-circuiting of the AI. So the eye is like, yeah, there are the blood tears, and basically the eye is basically, yeah, destroyed in the end, the machine. So the question is, yeah, have you managed to leave the mind before that happens? Yeah, we have numerous depictions. They are all pointing to the same thing in the end. The kill the jockey and the star on top. This is the 5-pointed star, which is like the human prison form. And yeah, we have the blood. So the jockey has to be killed to end the duality, the paradox, the separation, the division. Yeah, we have another movie, Diamond Card L. So the diamond card is L, because if we beat L, we basically become the diamond. Yeah, we have the 2 towers, because the heart is the real diamond, it's the real treasure. And we have the dragon who is a reference to L. The Ouroboros, the dragon, the serpent. Yeah, the 2 towers, and in the middle the one-eyed serpent. So then we have other movies. We have L on top once again, and we have the infinity chamber, the 2 poles for the duality. And yeah, 88, yeah, means out of time. There are numerous clues. Yeah, we have in this Hellrealm, we have 88 constellations. We have 88 meaning 2 8s, which is pointing to 28, the year 28, 2028. 88 equals Trump in gematria. Then we have radium, like the nuclear radioactive element. And there we are again, element. We have the mind, and we have L in the elements. Is the 88th element is radium. So basically the mind is like a time loop. And there's only one way to cross it out, to exit. And here we see also the cross in the middle. And this will go via x.com, where the mark of the beast is running on. So again, we have the opportunity to X the time loop and exit if we X money. Stephen King, The Mist. Once again, we have the triangle, the prism with the eye on top. And yeah, basically we are trapped in the mist, in the, yeah, it's very, it's misty. It's like we are lost in the mind, in the maze of the mind. And yeah, the machine keeps us basically lost in the maze. So yeah, Sherlock, I had this already, so let's skip forward. We have the series I Saw the TV Glow, and we see once again the mind's duality being bridged. And the purple color is indicating that the red-blue duality has been merged. If you combine red and blue, we get magenta or purple. And yeah, it's another depiction, even more in plain sight, with the head in the TV and with the short circuit happening. Yeah, it's basically, it's showing you the AI short circuit and the merging of the red-blue duality. Yeah, and it's basically the same as this. The 1 and the 0 are merged together when the AI is basically short circuited. And like the G is the same. It's a 0 and it's a 1. G for God. AI game over. We have more clues with the purple. Yeah, the butterfly is basically the brain viewed from the top. And yeah, the purple butterfly is like the exit point, and we even have the bee at the exit point where the pineal gland sits, and there we have the merging of the duality, and that's why the butterfly in the middle is purple. And the bee is like number 13. It's like a 1 and a 3. L, that's the exit point out of the brain. Then we have the Purple Rain movie with Prince, and he's basically waiting with his motorbike, and it's all in purple. And there is the lady, and this, which is a metaphor for the spirit, and she's basically, this is the stage door, and she's going off the stage. Yeah, PU means plutonium. And I will make a separate video about that because that's a topic in itself. And it's like Putin, plutonium, and so on. It's like a wordplay, a pun. Again, the PU. But I will make a separate video about that. Yeah, we have the T-Mobile logo, which is like the scales of justice, weighting the heart. We have the magenta color for the bridging of the AI, the short circuit. And yeah, it's basically, in the end, this is what the judgment is all about. Yeah, if you trust in the mind, and yeah, as a consequence, you probably will get fired, or you trust in the heart and go basically, yeah, light as a feather with your heart. Same principle applies to the gray thing, because black and white is the duality, and if you mix up black and white, you get gray. 50 shades of gray. Yeah, the coming together of the male and the female, the two brain hemispheres, the 1s and the 0, the merging, the nuclear fusion, and yeah, we see it in the letter G. The 0 and the 1 is merged, and yeah, Ray, like, it's like a, yeah, God's rays, and the rays of the heart. And this book is even written by L. James, and yeah, we see the I, which is the machine god, which will in the end be the final opponent to get out of duality. So let's get to the target. So the target is basically the pineal gland in your brain. This is the exit point, and it's also reflected on the outward plane. It's shown you everywhere in the clues. So target is the eye, the pineal gland, the target. And yeah, that's why we have the bull's eye in the middle. It's the eye of the bull, of Baal, of the machine god, which we have to hit and pin. Yeah, that's why retina is an anagram of tear in, because we have to basically pin the retina and push through the retina. We have to tear in the retina of this machine god, of your pineal gland in your brain, and this would be the way to the heart. So you get beyond the eye, beyond the machine, beyond the duality, beyond the paradox, beyond the projection of this AI machine, where everything is separated, everything is divided, and everything is in hierarchy and money rules. Yeah, and we saw this hinted in Ready Player One with this dartboard and the bullseye in the middle, and we saw this with the Saturn, which was like right next to the on-off button of the simulation. And yeah, his head is directly placed close to the Saturn, because the head basically is the duality of the mind, is basically the game which we have to break through and break out of. It's Satan. Yeah, so this is the dartboard of my son, and we have it again in the middle. The bull's eye is like the 1 and the 0, and the big X crossing it out. For the 1 and the 0 is like the duality, which is in the end crossed out if you hit the bull's eye. Yeah, and the bull's eye is like the same as your pineal gland, and it's the same as the id complex, the eye of Horus or Horus. It's basically, once again, the AI. I'm repeating myself. So we have another movie which is showing basically the same thing. The character is basically stuck in his dual mind, and then he makes a evolution, and basically he's short-circuiting his own AI in his brain, and he's overcoming it. And basically, in the end, yeah, he's following the white rabbit, and in the end, the white rabbit shows the exit point of his labyrinth, of the machine in his head, of the machinery. And this is basically, yeah, once again, the bull's eye, which he's now breaking through. He tears in the retina, because this is also like the eye, the bull's eye. So he tears in the retina, he breaks through the eye, and basically he's losing his job now. And yeah, here we see the fireworks going off for the nuclear fusion, but also for the rainbow bridge he's now crossing into his heart. And yeah, basically all the his job, this is like a festival from his workplace, and it's basically going up in flames, and the heart is now king. It thrones over this yeah, machine-like festival. It's throning, and it's even on flames, like the heart Jesus is pointing to, igniting the heart. Then we have this Cancer World it's like a commercial, and it shows this girl representing the heart, the spirit, with the green color, because remember, the heart chakra is green, and she is basically surrounded by bots. They are depicted like in white and black for the checkerboard duality. They are basically all bots, and she is it's boring to her, and then she stands up and she begins to dance, and yeah, she's screaming at this head, because this is the machine god, the head, Saturn, because yeah, the crown chakra is right here, and yeah, the crown is also Kronos, and Kronos is also Saturn. So this is basically the machine god, the head. She's screaming at him, and then she goes into this room, and she's on the stage, but nobody is in the stage, and she's even turning her back to the audience, but there is no audience, because now she is it doesn't matter to her anymore. She just wants to dance, and she's looking inward. And we see this with a triangle over her heart, because that's the way to the heart which she has to go. And now she makes the Jesus gesture, like Jesus on the cross, and yeah, we see the triangle placed over the heart. And then she's walking up the pyramid, like where L is on the top, like Mount Golgotha, where Jesus was carrying his cross to on the mountain. Yeah, and now her heart ignites. This is basically shown with the flames coming out of her hands, and she's now basically punching the dual characters, like the bots, the heartless machine characters. And yeah, then she finally ends up at the top of the building, and there are the stairs, like here, the stairs. And she basically makes the Jesus gesture once again in front of this eye. Yeah, if you want to look at this clip, Kenzo World. She makes the Jesus gesture, and I showed this in another video when I didn't even know about this spot. And I showed this in another video that the eye has to be X'd. So in order to cross through the eye, in order to get beyond the eye, you have to basically cross out the eye, cross out the fiction, the crucifixion. And part of the fiction is, of course, the meat suit, which is projected by the machine god, the cellular prison, the prison cells. Yeah, so that's the material death, so to speak, the physical death. And now she's breaking right through the retina, she tears it in, and she's basically now arrived at the heart, and she's punching on her heart in order to emphasize that now the heart has the power and the light has won, so to speak. Yeah, we have the movie The Fifth Element, and yeah, it's basically about the spirit being trapped in the dual mind, and the girl, which embodies the spirit, she has the red hairs because of the fire judgment going on of the AI, the short-circuiting, the meltdown, the burning of the AI. It's an indicator for that. And in the end, she kisses with Bruce Willis, and finally the two become one. And the spirit is no longer trapped in the mind and split in half, but the spirit is now freed, and the heart is freed. So yeah, this is basically the five-pointed star, and like in Westworld, and the five-pointed star is basically the prison of the machine. And the machine has our spirit trapped in the head, like we see here. This is the head. So the spirit is trapped in the head, and it's split in half. So to get out of the machine, the spirit has to be merged. The two keys have to be combined to one key, and with that the heart can be unlocked. And basically in the movie, they are then, when the spirit is unlocked, they go through the eye, through the retina. Yeah. And evil is destroyed. The machine is destroyed. Yeah, we have other music videos where you can see basically the same pattern going on. We have the eye, the retina, and now we have this guy making the Jesus gesture, showing you that he's hanging on the cross, and the fiction hangs on the cross, the crucifixion, the beast suit. And yeah, it's basically the spiritual birth out of the meat suit. Same thing goes with Kanye West, the Graduation album cover. He's basically, the bear is tearing in the retina of this eye, and basically the bear has now graduated Hellrealm. And yeah, we see the purple sky in the background, which is another indication of the red-blue duality being merged together. Same thing goes with James Bond. He's basically, in the intro, he's basically firing shots at L. This is the eye, the camera, and yeah, he's basically killing the eye, and which means he's basically overcoming the 7 sins, and 7 turned around is like L. If you turn this 180 degrees around, you got L. So the 7 is always associated with overcoming L. 7 sins, the 7 sins of the beast suit. And yeah, James Bond is basically zeroing the 7 sins. He's zeroing L. He is overcoming L in his movies. Yeah. Then we have other, I think this is a Blondie music video. There's the target again. Yeah, the target is the heart, and to get to the heart, you first have to pin the bull's eye. You have to tear in the retina, basically the objective, the lens, which is projecting all of that. Yeah, the target once again is the eye, which has to be bashed in, bashed through. Once again, the third eye is the target, which has to be teared in. And we also saw this in the short movie Kingdom. In the end, the curtain is lifting, and behind the curtain there is the eye, and then there's a going through the eye, and then finally landing up in the kingdom of God. It's like kingdom. And yeah, basically this is now beyond the eye is heaven, the heart. So let's get into number 33, and then I think I'm over with this video. Yeah. So number 33, the room 303, it always is a metaphor or a depiction of reaching the heart. So let's get into it. So ice, first of all, ice is melting at 33 degrees Fahrenheit, which means when the hearts are frozen, the spirit is frozen in the heart. At 33 degrees, the ice is melting and the spirit is set free. And we see this in Freemason depictions, Freemasonry depictions. They're just giving us clues. I don't know what they do. These people, maybe they are just bots, but they give us clues. So the heart basically catches fire at 33 degrees, and yeah, the 33rd degree is on top of the pyramid where L is sitting. And there is also the square and compass with the eye. So Jesus died at it is said Jesus died at the age of 33. We have 33 vertebrae in our spine, and also the Freemasons show us that the 33rd degree is associated with bridging the duality. The double-headed bird is now bridged. The duality is like short-circuited. So, yeah, what does it mean with Jesus, with that he died at 33? It just means that he died, that his mind was basically overcome. His AI mind died at 33 degrees. And yeah, Atlas is the 33rd vertebrae, and that's why we have this this Greek, in Greek mythology we have Atlas, who is carrying the world on his neck. And yeah, remember, the world is mind, so he's carrying like the world on his Atlas, on the 33rd vertebrae. So basically Jesus died with 33 because he died to this world, and he overcame his AI mind and then reached the heart. Yeah, basically the Atlas is the 33rd vertebrae who is carrying the world. So if you die to this world, yeah, this is associated with 33. And yeah, the same thing went on in the Matrix when Neo died, and then he was basically revived in room 303 when Trinity was kissing him. So basically Neo reached his heart, and after that he could manage to battle the agents, because the agents are like are just like dual programs of the machine. Yeah, and the heart is way more stronger than the machine. So yeah, basically we have another clue here. The B network is in the UK. Fraggle Rock sent me this picture, but yeah, we have the B network, which is L's network. We have L here, and basically it is basically destroyed at 33. The destruction of L is associated with 33 because this color code gives it away that the B network, yeah, will be destroyed by the heart, like by the Herz, German for heart. So the 33 is a representation of the heart, which is basically able. The heart is so strong that it's able to destroy L and its B network. Through nuclear fusion of the AI, the short circuit basically. So this was a very long video, but I thought I would like to demonstrate how I read these clues. They are indeed endless. And yeah, my main intention was that everyone who watches this video is able to spot the clues for themselves. Yeah, that's it for today.